Feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hello and welcome to the video wrap-up show for the Shrimp Tank podcast in Seattle. I'm Dan Whedon, and I'm joined by my co-host, Phil Simchich. We had a fascinating and fun conversation with Gary Furr. Gary is the founder of Gary Furr Consulting in Portland. Now listen, to catch the whole episode, which we recommend, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find every episode we've done on our website at shrimptankpodcast.com/Seattle.
All right, Gary, so you're a turnaround expert for small and medium businesses. When you walk into a turnaround situation, and I understand essentially you have the role of CEO and you're in charge, what are the key things you do to assess the situation and set the direction for getting out of this turnaround situation? And these, I assume, would be valuable for any business in any situation, not just a turnaround.
Absolutely. Typically, the first thing I do, Phil, is I interview the staff and some of the key employees. Typically, what happens, I've already interviewed the owner or the CEO, and I've heard their story, but now I want to get down and hear the truth of what's really going on. So I interview the staff, some key employees to kind of ascertain what's happening. I also ask for the last 3 years financials, so I can look at those as a comparison. And then I ask for the financials from their very best year they've ever had in business. And I like to compare to that. Typically what I'm looking for is organizational development issues, whether there's leadership issues or there's structural issues and financial issues. It's like going to the ER, right? You got to stop the bleeding first. And then you got to diagnose what's really going on, what's happening, what's broken, what's not working, what is working still. And then you have to start repairing what's not working well.
Gary, you wrote a book called Make Your Banker Happy. Somebody might say, why do I care about my banker's happiness? Well, if you wanted a PPP loan, you might care. But as you talk about in the podcast, having a relationship with your banker is incredibly important. Tell us why, and then what are 3 things that any small or medium-sized business owner can do to improve that relationship?
Yeah, you never need your banker until you need your banker, right? And like you said, the people who were looking for PPP loans and didn't know their banker struggled. So it's critical to start building a relationship with your banker right up front so that you can get to know them and they can know you, and you can build this relationship, because a lot of the banking relationship is built on the relationship. And bankers want to know that you know your numbers and that you know what those numbers mean and you understand them. So that's one of the critical tools to having a successful relationship with the banker. The second one is to be proactive, not wait for the banker to call you and ask you for information, but be providing the information to your banker in a timely manner. So I would say the first 2 is know your numbers, be proactive. And the third one would be to communicate often with your banker. Don't wait for bad things to happen. Be communicating during good times as well. And invite your banker out to your business so they can see what you actually do. Because the banker can be a trusted advisor for you if you've built a good relationship with them. I've missed in the podcast, I list some other ideas that you can go to find out other ways to build a relationship with your banker. That's a good place to go.
Awesome. Gary, thank you so much for being a guest here on the Shrimp Tank. For our listeners that want to get in touch with you and learn more about you and your consulting services and company, how do they reach you?
Just go to my website, www.garyfurconsulting.com.
Everyone, make sure you check out all the replays on shrimptankpodcast.com/Seattle and wherever you get your podcasts, such as iHeart, Apple, Google, or Spotify. Please follow us on our show's social media pages on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Well, Phil and Gary, thank you very much for being on the show, and thanks everyone for joining us. Our next guest will be Elizabeth Harris from Resultus Consulting. Please join us every week at 12 p.m. Pacific for our live stream broadcast on our Facebook page. Until we see you again, please be healthy, be prosperous, and have fun, because for right now, the shrimp is back in the tank. So long.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond, and the shrimp.